everyone. I am Archie from the team of GISA Council. I welcome you all to the SDLC Process Audit webinar. GISA Council is a non-for-profit organization committed to empowering individuals and organizations through specialized training and globally recognized certification. Our mission is to strengthen the cybersecurity and IT governance ecosystem by building skilled professionals through programs such as Associate Information Systems Auditor, CISA, CISM, Risk Prep Training, ISO 27001 Lead Auditor, CISSP Prep Training, and many more. Our director, Dr. Hiral Patel, is a visionary in the field of information technology and cybersecurity with over 15 years of experience as a consultant and lead auditor. She is renowned for shaping the future of risk and compliances. Her passion lies in nurturing the next generation of professionals and guiding them into the dynamic world of information systems audit. In just 1.5 years since our establishment, GISA Council has proudly trained over 2,500 professionals across 59 countries, including participants from 160 plus global enterprises, with more than 30 Fortune 500 companies among them. I'm delighted to introduce Mr. Sonu Verma, a seasoned trainer with 17 years of experience helping professionals to advance their career, having worked with multinational corporations and implemented reporting and data integration solutions. The vision through his practical insights, he aims to help individuals to enhance their skill, build successful career, and drive meaningful change in the organization. As a consultant and lead auditor, his practical insight make him a valuable asset to this webinar. Best wishes to all the participants. Sir, over to you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Archie. Right. Like I have already been introduced by Archie, my name is Sonu Verma, and the station has been kept in order to ensure that people who are working in IT, who are not working in IT, the purpose of this webinar is to enlighten you with the knowledge of software development lifecycle. In short, it is SDLC process, where I will be letting you know how the agile works, how the waterfall framework of software development works, what are the controls that we need to audit during any kind of audit or where it captures the software development as one of the domain, whether it's a ISO 27001, whether it's a NIST CSF 2.0 or SOC 2 audit. In India, we exercise these kinds of audit where the software development lifecycle gets audited. Now, I'm going to share my screen. My request to all of you is that pause me if you don't understand anything. Okay, ask the question. Okay, so that the purpose of this webinar gets delivered. Let me know once my screen is getting shared. You guys have got the access to the link. I'm just sharing a link. Let me, please, by the time I'm just opening it, please check if you guys have access so that at the same time I can share some of the documents so that we can refer during this class. 1 second. Okay, this is the document link that I have pasted here on the chat. Can you please guys confirm me that you people have access to this? Okay. Atik, Siddiqui, can you confirm? Fikrini Akbar.
Yes.
Have got access. So Ketan also does not have access. Kumar,
No,
right.
we don't have access.
Okay. I will ask the team to provide you the access on that. Okay.
Just a second, I'm checking.
Okay.
The folder is found, but don't have any document right now.
Yeah, it's
Right.
it's empty. It doesn't have any document as such.
Okay. All right. No worries. I'm just sharing my screen. Okay. And those people who have access, the folder is now blank, but I will be providing some of the document there. And I will ask my team to share the documents on email post this webinar. People who are not speaking, put yourself on mute and focus on this part. Okay. So first of all, I'm going to tell you the SDLC framework. Okay. SDLC framework, what we follow and how the audit takes place here. My screen is visible, right, guys? Okay. Now, there are multiple frameworks in SDLC. Okay. The basic frameworks and the most advanced framework. Okay. There are two frameworks that IT organizations are following. That is Agile and Waterfall. In Agile, the organization are following this Agile framework in software development lifecycle because it is easy, it is not tedious, and it captures all the aspects of software development lifecycle so that there is no flaw after the software gets coded or after it has been released to the production. And waterfall has little bit of issue, so people have started shedding off the waterfall and following the agile waterfall. So before I get into the software development lifecycle controls and all this stuff, let me make you understand what exactly is this framework. Okay, in agile process, agile waterfall, agile framework. Okay, what we need to understand, let's say I as a client need one of the software to be prepared by a client. Let's say I have chosen GISA Council to prepare a software for me where I can make the call. Let's say like WhatsApp is doing it. Okay, so what happens? I need to contact GISA Council. Can you please help me out with making a software where I can deploy to the world where people can start using that software to make the call. So what happens? The company, as GISA Council as a company, they will follow the agile framework where the first process they want is they will ask me to, okay, please provide the DRL, fairly known as IDR. Okay. Sorry, EDR. This is known as data request list or essential data request before we go ahead and process the software coding. Okay. Now, once GISA Council has gathered the information that, okay, I want to make a software where I can need to make a call like a WhatsApp. I'm developing a new software. So they ask me, okay, what are your audience? What are the geography you want me to capture before I go ahead and make the software for you? Okay, I gave the software all the requirement that is in the data request list that is called DRL. The second phase goes, which is known in Agile is called coding. okay, where the software developers will write the code and prepare the software. Once this coding is done, okay, software is ready to be utilized for the people. We directly don't go ahead and say to the client, hey, I have built the software, you can go ahead and start writing, using the software. No, that is not how it happens. After the coding, what happens, we select a few number of people or few systems where they go ahead and check the software whether it is meeting all the requirements listed in data request list, DRL process. So in DRL, I had said, okay, my calling process should be like it's a voice call. It should be encrypted, like the WhatsApp uses end-to-end encryption. Okay, where people can update the status, where people can upload their DP. They have prepared a software. So I did the coding. The team did the coding to ensure that it is meeting all the requirement. Now here in this process, the client requirement has been made. The software is prepared. Now I want to test how it is working. So there is a process in the agile and in the waterfall also. The next stage we call as a UAT. This is called user acceptance testing. Okay. The software, in this process, the software gets tested in the testing environment and not in production. Okay. So it generates a requirement that your testing and production VLAN is separate. Okay. Now, once the testing is done, I need to inform to the client, your software is ready to deploy. Okay, we have tested the software and there is no vulnerability that have been identified. So here, before client says, okay, I need to deploy the software in the market by the November end, okay, where we have more than 45 days. The client has already given the deadline. We have already done the DRL coding and UAT part, where the user acceptance testing is done, where we have checked all the given request has already been taken care of during whatever the client has provided in DRL. Now, since the coding portion is done by the developers, okay, the codes, software is just the collection of the codes. So there may be possibility a person who is writing the code has deliberately written a code which is a virus, okay, which is a time activated virus that after 2 months or 3 months, this virus will start working and it will corrupt the software. Okay. Any kind of malware they have given, any kind of software virus they have written in the code. Now, if that has not been checked and the software gets released to the entire world, and after using for 2 months, the software stops working, okay, because of any virus that have already been coded, the software will stop working. It is going to be a reputational damage for the client. It is going to be financial damage for the client. And of course, the client needs to recall that software from the market. That is going to create a big chaos. So in order to ensure that it does not happen, the fourth phase is called secure code review. Okay. Here, a person from the security team, they go and see the each codes, okay, whatever the code is needed to make the software. If there is any virus written in software code that which is not supposed to be there, they will remove that during the source code review or secure code review, and then they will save the code in the GitHub, which is called where we call as a code repository. Okay. Here, once the source code review Once the source code review is done, that security team signs off from the security point of view for the final deployment. Okay. Now, once this process is done, the secure code review is done. The next phase is called release, okay, which is deployment. Okay, now the software has been deployed to the world to use it, okay, or to the targeted market where the software has been, for which the software has been designed to be used. Now, the client says, okay, you have given the DRL, you have given the coding, everything is done, user acceptance testing is done, you have developed, you have given the source code review. Okay, here this is called source code review report. Okay. Based on checklist, approved checklist. All right. Now, client says, okay, you have given me the software I have deployed. Okay, you have checked there is no virus in the software, but what? If my software generates the latency where I am providing, where I've started getting the calls, hey, whenever I make the call does not get connected within a second. It takes 5 seconds, 10 seconds. And when somebody is speaking to me, the voice is coming with latency. Okay. Let's say it has been reported to the client. So what will happen? Again, there is an issue in the software. And as per the agreement, the source code review was supposed to be done. They have done it. The UAT has also been done. Now, the client creates a requirement that what will happen if there is an issue after the deployment. So in the software development lifecycle, there is a next phase, okay, that we call patch management. If there is a vulnerability that has been reported, we need to deploy the patch to remove the latency. The next phase is called patch management. Okay. Here, what will happen? The client needs to ensure that, okay, if somebody has reported the vulnerabilities, okay, we are going to deploy a new patch where all the people who are using the phone, they see that it is, you know what, there is a push from the backend, from the Apple, that there is an update that needs to be used. So you need to update your software by clicking the update. Now, what will happen here? Patches will be deployed from backend to remove the vulnerabilities. Okay. So what happened? There is a new requirement from the audit that is happening here. It's called vulnerability management report, or we can say so patch management policy along with VAPT, vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. Okay, this penetration testing, VAPT, is not the network based, but it is the web application testing part. Okay. Now, after the client has deployed this patch management, everything is working. And now later on, client said, okay, my market base is increasing because of the good software. I want to ensure that many people can use the software. Earlier, there were 10,000 people who were using this software. I want somewhere 50,000 people to utilize this software. Now, after 10,000, the moment is more than 10,000 people start working, using this for software, the software starts hanging. So there is a testing that is called the stress testing of the software, where we ask the people to log in, or the software developers, they do log in, okay, to its maximum stress to test that how much traffic the software can handle before it gets start hanging. That is also called a stress testing of the software. Now, once everything is done, okay, the software is working, everything is done. Now we need to ensure that there is if there is a vulnerabilities, the patches is available, we are going to push the releases and the people will update the software. But if a software develops a vulnerability which has never been reported in the software development lifecycle world, what will happen? If I go to GISA Council stating that, hey, I am calling to Sandra and it is going to James, this call is not going to the right person. And even the James is not the part of my contact list. Somebody picks up the call, it says, hey, I'm James. Okay, let's say this kind of vulnerabilities start getting reported and there is no patch. Okay, there is no solution for that. So what happens? The client team, they work on it to ensure, they say to the client, okay, as of now, I cannot give you the deadline that when this software can be released as a patch to resolve the issue. We're working on it. Okay. And those vulnerabilities where the patches are not available is known as 0-day vulnerabilities. Okay. Okay. So in the 0-day vulnerabilities, the patches are not available. Now, how we will understand in the layman language, before the COVID, okay, let's say you have fever, you will go to the market, you will say, I need some fever. I have fever, I need some medicine. The chemist or the doctor is going to give you some paracetamol or any medicine that is applicable for your fever. But back in 2020, before in 2020, if you go that you have got COVID, the doctor say, hey, we do not have the medicine as of now for this. Okay, stay at home. So for medical field, COVID was a 0-day vulnerabilities. Is that understood now, team? Any question? Any question, team? Okay.
Ketan here. Just one add-on to the SDLC process. There is something called as post-production, which happens after the software is deployed. The post-production
that is called patch management.
No, patch management is different. Patch management is when the software is actually going live after a few months, and then you need to make sure that the patches needs to be updated. But post-production is when you actually ensure that if there are any
people
bugs
who are not
which is
speaking,
required.
please, people who are not speaking, put yourself on mute.
Okay, so post-production is where the if there's an issue, if there's some bugs which has been detected after the software goes live. So that is a part of the post-production. It is part of the SDLC.
That before it gets released to the market. Yes, you're right. All right. Now, what we need to ensure that what is the difference between? Yeah, please, George.
Yeah, on the issue of installing patch management in a situation where the software is working and there's interception. Are you looking at it from a cybersecurity perspective when the software is working?
George.
And
Sure, there is too much of noise from your background. I can't hear you clearly. If you wish, you can type your question here.
Yeah, I got a question. It talk about installing the patch management. I'm concerned about if the patch has been installed and people are say intercepting communication. Isn't that cybersecurity issue? How can that be addressed?
That can be addressed by the patches only. How the patches is not going to be deployed in the open channel. It is something called CI/CD pipeline. Okay, through the secure channel, we go ahead and deploy all the changes. So nobody is going to intercept that. I will cover it up. All the questions will be answered during this session. Okay, give me a moment. All right, now, what happens in the agile? What is the difference between agile and waterfall? Okay, let's say in the agile and waterfall, the main difference is that if there is an issue, okay, in the source code review portion, okay, what happens? It just moves one step behind in the agile process. Let's say there is an issue that has been reported in the release and deployment phase. So it will go ahead one step back in the source code review in the agile process. They will try to fix it up. What the concern is. If there is an issue in the UAT part, it will go ahead one step back in the coding portion, and they will resolve the concern in agile. However, in the waterfall, it directly goes up. Okay, if there is an issue that has been figured out in the deployment phase, it will directly travel to the coding part. It does not move to one phase behind like agile. So what happens in the waterfall when we are moving to the first portion, okay, after the DRL, the coding part, people start looking, sometimes it goes to the coding part also. So what happens, people, you are starting from DRL, then coding, then UAT, and then source code review again, before it goes to the deployment phase, again, to figure out what the concern is. So what happens in the agile process, this is moving to more than 3-4 steps behind. That creates a concern where the time consumption to come to the normal state is too high. So people have started using the waterfall agile process instead of waterfall. This is the main difference between agile and waterfall. Now, I need to let you know what exactly in the SDLC controls, what all we need to audit. Okay. First thing in the SDLC controls that we need to audit. Okay. So during this process, okay, we already know that we need to have certain stuffs. Okay. First is the DRL. Okay. Along with that, we need to have a soft DRL plus from the auditing portion, the controls that we need to audit. Here I'm writing it, controls to be audited. Okay. That is called SDLC policy. Okay. Which policy or which framework the company is utilizing during their SDLC development process, whether it's a waterfall or agile, they are supposed to write down the SDLC in the SDLC policy. Second, we need to ensure that all the policies are going through the annual review to ensure if there is a vulnerability or if there is an issue that has been reported by the auditor. In the annual meeting by the top management, they are going to edit the policy. So the next control that we need to audit is SDLC policy is reviewed and approved by management. Okay. Now, once we know what controls we need to be or what needs to audit. Okay. First control is audited. Now, second is that we need to ensure the coding part is done. Okay. So we need a sheet where we said coder and reviewers need to be different and they are approved people. Okay. Now, once the coding is done, the coder is not going to do the source code review. Okay. So the reviewers is supposed to be aligned by the security team. We need to ensure that there is a list of people, okay, who are going to ensure that a person is doing the coding. These are the testing team. These are the deployment team. These are the developers team. an organization needs to ensure that they are maintaining a complete list of the people from the software development team. Okay. Now, for all the releases, we need to ensure that the testing UAT report is available, along with the testing is done in the testing environment and the deployment is done in the production. So here we need UAT report plus VLAN description. Okay. Now, once the source code review is done, okay, so there is, okay, how we are making these controls? Okay, we are making the control on the basis of policies, on the basis of framework. And then we go ahead, once we read the what company or what framework the company is reading, what is their policy? Accordingly, we are writing the controls to audit. Now, okay, source code report review based on the checklist. Here, for all releases, okay. Now, let's say in 1 year, you're auditing an organization of software development lifecycle process for 1 year. There have been 100 releases that have been done. So what we need to do, for each month, you need to select 1 or 2 releases and asking the team to deploy, so to share the source code review sheet for each sheet. Okay, you're not going to go ahead, okay, there are 100 releases, share me 100 releases source code review sheet. Okay, that is going to be very tedious for the auditor. So what we do the sampling on the basis of like monthly sampling or random sampling, block sampling, stratified sampling. Depends what way you are trying to do the sampling. Once you get the releases, okay, you are going to audit that. Then the deployment report. Okay, then patch management policy and the VAPT report. I'm going to share all this stuff. I'm going to show you now. Okay. In the meanwhile, before I go ahead and share that, I just need to inform that there is the training. This is a full set of training that is going to start. Okay, that is from November. Number 8. And if anyone who is interested to learn the full set of this AISA training, they can go ahead and register with the software this team. And they can register, and we are going to take the full-time training for the complete practical training for all the domains. Now, I need to show you, okay, how many people have seen the source code review sheet so far? Anyone? One second, by the time it is opening. All right. Now, this is the checklist that the team keeps with them, okay, for the review. Now, they have written that what needs to be checked, what needs to be audited before they conduct the source code review. They have given the parameters, they have written the priority, whether it's mandatory or not mandatory. Okay, for each thing, okay, they need to write down, send in early to get confirmation about the field name and types. Okay, it is checked. For source code, code must be optimized and have sufficient comments. Comment must be added at the beginning of each file and at the beginning and the end of the block code that we modify. It is checked, mandatory. Okay. So these are the list of the source code review. Okay. So this is actually differ from company to company also what they want to check, what they don't want to check. Sometimes you will see it is NA. They don't want to check it. Wherever it is saying it's a mandatory, you need to, when you're auditing them, you need to ensure that it is checked along with the remarks which gets highlighted, whether it is it is passed or not, and whether you need to ensure it has been reviewed and approved by the source code reviewer only. So you will see the pass part portion they have highlighted. Okay. The date of review they have provided. Now they say, okay, reviewed by a person called I. Okay. Now I also need to check that this person which is listed here is also documented in our approved people of the source code. Okay. So how does it look like? Okay. Now, the company has provided a list where it says A to J, there are approximately 10 people in the software development team, where 4 people are developers, 4 are testers, and 2 are source code reviewers. I need to ensure that my source code review sheet is done by a person, either by I or J. The person should not be from A to H, whether it's from development or testing team. So I will go ahead and cross-check my report. Okay, it is done by I. I will check, okay, it is done. So this report is compliant. Company is using the source code reviewers checklist. Okay, checklist. Okay, I have done it. I've got it. Checklist plus it has passed before it got deployed, and thus it is done by the source code reviewers. So these 3 controls are audited and they are compliant. All right. Now, we check that software development lifecycle, code reviews, testing, VLAN report, the source code review report. Okay. Now, I need to see the VAPT is done or not. I will go here and I will ask the team, okay, please share with the coding, the testing report. Okay. Anyone on this call is from software team? Anyone? Team, anyone from software team? No? Okay. I'll share with you how we need to audit this part. Is the screen visible? This one's VAPT report part. Team, please confirm someone. Ketan, can you see this? This report?
Yes, we can see it. Yeah.
Yes. All right. All right. So what happens here? We need to know how to audit this part. Okay, the VAPT part. We get this report. For all the listed vulnerabilities, we need to ensure that they are categorized on the basis of the incident management policy or the software development lifecycle policy, where the company itself designs that, okay, this is the vulnerability, it will be treated as high, low, medium. And on the basis of that, we will have the ETA to close these vulnerabilities. So list of the findings they have provided and the VAPT tester has provided. Now for each findings, we need to ensure what information they are providing, the list of findings accordingly, whether they have provided the remediation steps or not. Okay. So impact they have provided, the DOS attack, rendering the application unavailable, server overload and increased resource usage, blah, blah, blah. And other than that, they have also written the recommendation that when this is going, what you need to ensure, what we need to deploy to ensure this vulnerability gets patched. For each one, you will see the description of the vulnerabilities, the impact and the recommendation. Okay, this is based on OAuth model, and the tester also always provides you the recommendation part. Now, once you see this part, other than that, during the audit, what happens, the false thing that takes place, okay, sometime you will be auditing a vendor, if not your company, but the vendor, what they do, they send you a dummy report saying that, hey, I have done the VAPT part. Okay, so how you need to going to check? Okay, so you need to zoom this file. Okay. Now, you will see this portion, the black portion, the screenshot is known as POC. Okay, that is called proof of concept. Here I have removed that client's information. Okay, now the requested URL that have been tested, the release that you are using from your testing file, source code review. Okay, you will go here, you will see that same URL has been used to check. Along with that, you will see your audit period. Let's say you are auditing from January 23 to January 24, oh sorry, December 24, January 24 to December 24 for 1 year you're conducting the audit. And you have figured out that, okay, in this month, the August, this release has been done. I need to check whether it is audited or not. So you will see, okay, date of testing by the tester. This report is of the date, but I need to check in the proof of concept, their testing is done within the August month or not. Okay, say I say, okay, it is done. Now, everything is done from the auditor perspective. We are not going to ask the client, okay, why these findings are still open. Our work is to ensure that they are following the software development lifecycle. They are following the agile process or waterfall, whatever they have mentioned, and they are following all the parameters that is supposed to be followed during their SDLC process. Once they do that, then we go ahead and we write in the audit report, yes, this process is compliant. In case there is, let's say there is no vulnerability assessment penetration testing that have been done, client is saying, man, we do not have the vulnerability assessment and penetration testing report available. So what we are going to do in our source, our control sheet, we are going to write down. I will be teaching you how the control sheet looks like. Okay. We will write down, okay, control, VAPT, compliance status, non-compliant, risk, in absence of VAPT, the organization may end up deploying unapproved untested software. Okay. And then we are going to write down that risk description, that unapproved software may lead to vulnerabilities. It may lead to compliance violation, audit failure, and reputational damage. Okay, this is a huge part in the control parts that will be I will be teaching in a full-time class. Okay, so those people who wants to learn this, please register yourself for the November batch, and I will be happy in order to teach you that. Okay, with that, any question, team?
Hi, I have a question.
Do we have a concept of accepting the exceptions, or is it like just compliant and non-compliant?
No, there are ways where we will be filling the wrap called risk acceptance form, where, okay, let me show you in case of course I have. Let me show you risk acceptance. There is a risk acceptance form, okay, that the organization always go ahead and now send it to the software development team, and they fill this form whether they are accepting the risk, whether they are treating the risk, they are creating a new control to take care of that risk. Okay, that is something called risk acceptance form. Let me show you that. Here, okay, like the GISA Council has utilized this form, okay, information security risk acceptance form. What we will do, we will provide the background that VAPT was not conducted for the so-and-so release, and we have found the issue. Now, you are going to provide the recommendation as an auditor that the organization is suggested to conduct the risk assessment and the VAPT, and include in the policy that all the releases needs to go for VAPT. Okay, we are going to write down the risk of what is going to happen, okay, if they do not follow this part. Now, it is the risk owner, the software development team, okay, they will just click on this recommendation, whether it's a create new controls, avoid risk. They are going to say, okay, I'm going to transfer the risk or accept the risk. They will just select what they're doing it. If they're saying, okay, I'm going to follow what you have sent, they will say, okay, I'm accepting I'm following to get this thing, I'm going to get this implemented. If they say, okay, I do not have money, my company does not have that much of bandwidth to go for VAPT, it's an expensive affair. So they will say, okay, I'm going to accept the risk. Click on this. They will get it signed by the CISO and the CISO, and then they will write down their whatever their explanation is, okay, and the data owner and all this stuff. They will fill this form, and then you will save it that we reported the risk and the organization has accepted the risk by using this risk acceptance form.
And will the final result be compliant or non-compliant?
No, the risk is not going to be compliant because the risk is still open. They are saying that I am accepting the risk. It is not going to be compliant. They're violating their company policy. They themselves have written that they are going to follow the VAPT part. They are following the Agile, and Agile says that you need to go for VAPT. Even the source code review, even the ISO says the same. So it is the risk is going to open for certain time. And next year, of course, you're going to audit them again. And next year, it is not going to be accepted. They need to write down in the risk acceptance form that for how many days they are going to accept this. It is not going like they're going to accept the risk for entire life. They need to provide you the deadline for the acceptance. Have I answered your question, Suruchi?
Yes, thank you.
Welcome. All right. Any more question, team? All right. Those people who have joined the class, they will be getting a certificate of attendance. And those people who are interested, please go ahead and register yourself for November batch. Okay. And if there is no question, thank you for joining the call. Yes. Will the VAPT report be part of SOC 1, SOC 2? What is the question? SOC 1, SOC 2? Will the VAPT report be part of SOC 1 and type 1, type 2, or SOC 2? Oh, VAPT report is the evidence. Okay. SOC 2 always asks for the VAPT. SOC 1 always asks for the VAPT. Okay. But the difference is that I am teaching you software development lifecycle. Okay. In the SOC 1 and SOC 2, okay, if you are not auditing the software domain, you are going to receive if you're auditing the network part, you will be getting the network vulnerability assessment penetration testing. If it is the VAPT part, then yes, for software development, you will have a different report, the web-based testing. Okay, what is CI/CD pipeline? Okay, good question. Okay, for example, what happens? Earlier, we all are using WhatsApp. So what happened? Earlier, we got the WhatsApp where we have been just chatting on WhatsApp. Later on, people realized, okay, we can have a voice call integrated in the software. So WhatsApp did not say, okay, guys, please uninstall your software, or we are recalling the software process. Okay. All right. So what happened? They said, I'm going to integrate a voice calling icon. They said, okay, there is an update that is installed there through the CI/CD pipeline. They have coded the voice command part where you will get the icon. Okay, you deployed that. And now in the next time you are opening the WhatsApp, you're saying that there is a voice calling process. After some time, the client said, okay, we need to have people have started gathering the information that other companies or other software calling the software where people used to make the call in the different companies. They have voice calls also. So WhatsApp said, okay, let's design that also. Now they designed the voice calling, video calling process, and they deploy through the secure code review, or that is, sorry, CI/CD secure line, where the secure CI/CD stands for continuous integration and continuous deployment. So you do not need to recall the software. You just need to push that update, and you will have a button which says the video calling part is available. Then you are starting using the video calls. Nowadays, you can make the payment also. You can upload your status. You can upload your DP, and many more to come. So that all happens through the CI/CD pipeline. I will teach you in the detail when you will be joining this full-time practical session. Any more question, team? Okay, a link has been provided there. Please fill up this form for the certification part. Okay.
Thank you.
So can we
Okay.
get the recorded session of this?
Yes, you will be getting it.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, the session is starting from 8 November. Okay, if you click on the link, you will see this. Okay, fill this form, and our team will contact you in order to help you in order to do the registration of the full-time course. And this is going to be on weekend.
Thank you.
All right. Take care, team.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
On the side, don't do it straight. Sorry.